Welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss atheism's shallow nature and the failures of abiogenesis and evolution. Here, one atheist said, LOL. Learning about atheism from theists is like learning about computer programming from a proctologist. If Dan Mason really understood atheism, he'd see how reasonable, logical, plausible, and elegant it is. Good point, Dan. Now here is my response. Atheism's shallow nature and the failures of abiogenesis and evolution. So here we go. Your remark that learning about atheism from theists is like learning computer programming from a proctologist is an amusing analogy, but it lacks substance. Insults aside, a proper understanding of atheism and its limitations requires critical engagement with its core claims. In reality, atheism's explanations for morality, meaning, and origins are shallow and philosophically weak, while abiogenesis and evolution struggle to provide sufficient scientific evidence for their grand claims. Let's dive into the flaws and limitations of these ideas. 1. Atheism, philosophically shallow and incomplete. Atheism presents itself as reasonable and logical by simply rejecting belief in God, but this rejection leaves fundamental questions unanswered. As G.K. Chesterton remarked, atheism is the most daring of all dogmas, for it is the assertion of a universal negative. While atheism avoids metaphysical commitments, it still fails to provide sufficient alternatives for the questions it dismisses, such as the origins of morality, meaning, and truth. Subjective morality. Atheism often appeals to empathy and societal norms as the basis of morality. However, as Michael Ruse explains, morality is just an aid to survival and reproduction, and any deeper meaning is illusory. This means that, under atheism, moral values are mere evolutionary tools, not objective truths. Such a moral framework becomes shallow and arbitrary, with no way to assert universal moral obligations, meaning, and purpose. Atheism argues that individuals can create their own meaning in life. However, as Jean-Paul Sartre admitted, life has no meaning the moment you lose the illusion of being eternal. A worldview that relies on subjective meaning cannot answer the deeper existential question, why do we exist at all? In rejecting God, atheism leaves us with no coherent framework for objective morality, truth, or meaning. It replaces these with subjective preferences that shift with time and culture. 2. Abiogenesis, scientifically weak and speculative. Abiogenesis, the idea that life arose from non-living matter through natural processes, is still unverified and speculative. Despite decades of research, scientists have failed to demonstrate how life could emerge from purely naturalistic processes. The famous Miller-Urey experiment in 1953 produced some amino acids, but this falls far short of creating the functional proteins, DNA, or RNA required for life. The improbability of random assembly. The odds of assembling a functional protein by chance are astronomical. The probability of forming a simple 150 amino acid protein in the correct sequence is approximately 1 in 1074. These numbers suggest that the formation of life through random chemical interactions is effectively impossible. Information in DNA. Bill Gates once commented, DNA is like a software program, only much more complex than any software ever created. DNA contains coded information, something that natural processes cannot explain. Randomness does not generate complex functional code. It requires intelligence to assemble meaningful information. The fact remains, abiogenesis is unscientific. It is a hypothesis with no empirical support, resting on the hope that one day scientists will discover a naturalistic mechanism to bridge the gap from lifeless chemicals to living cells. 3. Evolution, incomplete and questionable explanations. While evolution offers useful insights into biological diversity, it falls short when it comes to explaining the origin of complex biological systems and irreducible complexity. Evolution relies on gradual modifications through random mutations and natural selection, but it struggles with several key issues. Irreducible complexity. Some biological systems, such as the bacterial flagellum, are too complex to function if even one part is removed. This concept, introduced by biochemist Michael Bay, challenges the gradual model of evolution. Behe explains, an irreducibly complex system cannot be produced gradually by slight, successive modifications of a precursor system. The Cambrian explosion. The fossil record shows a sudden appearance of complex life forms during the Cambrian explosion. This rapid diversification challenges Darwin's gradual model of evolution, as no transitional fossils have been found to explain the sudden emergence of so many new species. Lack of transitional fossils. Despite over 150 years of searching, the fossil record contains significant gaps, with many expected transitional forms missing. As paleontologist David Raup admitted, we are now about 120 years after Darwin, and the knowledge of the fossil record has been greatly expanded. Ironically, we have even fewer examples of evolutionary transitions than we had in Darwin's time. Evolution, while offering some insights, is incomplete and often overstated as a comprehensive explanation for life's complexity. It fails to address how life began and why highly intricate biological systems arose. 4. Atheism's failure to provide better answers. Atheism, abiogenesis, and evolution together attempt to construct a worldview without God, but they fall short on multiple fronts. Simply rejecting theism does not resolve the deeper questions of existence, morality, and meaning. In fact, atheism leaves these questions unanswered or provides subjective and shifting answers that lack coherence. Morality. Atheism offers no objective basis for moral values. If morality is just an evolutionary tool, then concepts like justice and compassion become optional, valuable only when useful for survival. Meaning, creating meaning individually is insufficient, as it offers no lasting significance beyond one's lifetime. Without a transcendent source, life is reduced to temporary preferences that fade into insignificance. Origins. Both abiogenesis and evolution fail to provide complete scientific explanations for the origin of life and the emergence of complex systems. Atheists often appeal to, "we don't know yet," but this is not a satisfactory answer. Conclusion. A shallow and incomplete worldview. Atheism, along with abiogenesis and evolution, presents weak and incomplete explanations for the most fundamental questions of existence. It offers no objective grounding for morality and no ultimate purpose for life. Abiogenesis remains unscientific speculation, and evolution, while insightful, is incomplete in addressing the complexity of life. Simply dismissing theistic morality as fairy tales without offering superior alternatives reveals the shallow nature of atheism. As philosopher Alvin Plantinga observed, atheism, as a total world view, is incapable of accounting for the most important facets of human experience. Atheism may appeal to skepticism, but it fails to provide better answers to life's biggest questions. So, while you mock theists with analogies, the fact remains. Atheism, evolution, and abiogenesis are philosophically shallow, scientifically weak, and incomplete frameworks. Dismissing God is not enough. Atheists must offer a coherent and rational alternative. So far, they have failed to do so. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will see you in the comments.